The internet is on fire and fans are spiraling after jaw-dropping screenshots surfaced online, screenshots that appear to show Jasmine in a series of intimate late-night conversations with someone no one expected, her ex-lover, Malcolm. That's right, Malcolm, the same man she swore she had cut all ties with when she married Kirk. Now, whispers are turning into roars as the reality TV world braces itself for another chaotic storm. Is Jasmine just caught in a misunderstanding? Or is she really playing with fire behind Kirk's back? The leaked chats, dripping with suggestive emojis, nostalgic confessions, and cryptic phrases like "you were always the one" and "if only things were different," have left fans speechless. What's more, the timestamps show Jasmine messaging Malcolm just hours after she and Kirk had a very public argument during filming. Coincidence? Or was she emotionally leaning on an old flame while things crumbled at home? Now, questions are flying from every corner. Is Jasmine emotionally cheating? Did Kirk know about these secret chats? And most importantly, what does this mean for their marriage? Grab your popcorn, because what you're about to hear will shake the entire franchise to its core. This isn't just a scandal. This is betrayal, heartbreak, and maybe even the end of Jasmine and Kirk as we know them. It all started with a subtle shift in Jasmine's behavior, something only the most observant fans picked up on at first. Her usual bubbly energy seemed replaced by a distant, guarded version of herself. Kirk noticed it too, even though he tried to brush it off. During the last few tapings, she seemed distracted, her phone never leaving her hand, her replies to Kirk short and sharp. The once loving glances between them had turned into awkward silences and half-hearted smiles. It wasn't just stress. It wasn't just the cameras. Something was brewing behind the scenes, and the truth was more explosive than anyone could have guessed. What nobody knew then was that Jasmine had reopened a door to her past, the kind of door that's better left closed. Especially when it involves someone like Malcolm, the man who once left her heart shattered in pieces, the man she claimed she would never speak to again. The leak hit social media like a tidal wave. An anonymous account posted a series of screenshots that quickly went viral. They showed Jasmine's messages to Malcolm, full of late-night reminiscing and flirtatious tones that felt far too personal for a married woman. Phrases like "I still dream about that night" and "you always understood me better than anyone" left little to the imagination. Within minutes, hashtags like #Jasmine exposed and #Kirk deserves better were trending. Fans flooded the comments, shocked and confused. Some rushed to Jasmine's defense, claiming the messages could be fake or taken out of context, but others weren't so sure. The timestamps didn't lie. The emotional weight of the words couldn't be ignored, and as more messages were leaked over the following days, it became harder and harder to deny what was unfolding right in front of the world. Kirk was blindsided. At first, he refused to believe it. He thought it was just gossip, fan-made scandal to stir up drama, but when his cousin sent him the screenshots directly, everything changed. He stared at his phone for nearly an hour, reading and rereading Jasmine's words. The emojis, the heartbroken confessions, the nostalgia, it all pierced through him like a knife. And when he confronted Jasmine, hoping there was some logical explanation, he was met with silence. Her face went pale. Her lips trembled. And then, finally, she said it. "It was just talking. I was lonely. I never meant for it to go that far." That's when Kirk knew it wasn't a rumor, it was real. His wife had been emotionally connecting with the very man she had promised was no longer a part of her life. The confrontation was raw and brutal. Cameras were rolling when it happened, and producers scrambled to decide whether to cut the footage or lean into the drama. Jasmine tried to defend herself, insisting it wasn't cheating, that she was just confused and venting to someone who knew her history. But Kirk wasn't having it. "You vent to your husband. You talk to me," he snapped, his voice thick with emotion. "You don't sneak behind my back with the same dude who broke you once already." Jasmine's tears came quickly, but the damage had been done. Trust, once fractured, is nearly impossible to repair on camera, especially when the whole world is watching. The fallout spread fast. Their castmates started taking sides. Rashida, long known as Jasmine's biggest supporter, pulled her aside and gave her a piece of her mind. "Girl, what were you thinking?" she demanded. "You finally had something good with Kirk, and you threw it away for some fantasy with Malcolm." Jasmine, emotionally wrecked, couldn't even respond. Meanwhile, the guys rallied around Kirk, pulling him into a circle of support and distraction. But even as they tried to lift him up, Kirk's face remained blank. The betrayal ran too deep. He had defended Jasmine through every scandal, stood by her through every rumor, And this was the thanks he got. Even worse, what would their kids think if they ever saw those messages? But the real twist came when Malcolm himself broke his silence. On a live video that quickly racked up over 1 million views, Malcolm confirmed the authenticity of the messages. He looked smug, relaxed, even a bit arrogant as he scrolled through the chat on camera. "Yeah, that's Jasmine," he said. "She reached out to me first. She was talking about how lonely she felt, how things weren't the same with Kirk. She said she missed the way I used to look at her." The comments section exploded. Fans were furious not just at Jasmine, but at Malcolm too, for airing out private conversations like that. But Malcolm wasn't done. He dropped one more bomb before ending the stream, and yeah, she said if she wasn't married, things would be different between us. That one sentence ignited a wildfire. It wasn't just emotional cheating anymore, it was a full-blown emotional affair with a potential escape route. Jasmine had opened a door she couldn't close, and now that Malcolm had gone public, there was no way to contain the fallout. Paparazzi swarmed her house. Fan pages started posting old pictures of Jasmine and Malcolm. And even Kirk's family chimed in online, some calling Jasmine a snake and manipulative. The reality TV world thrives on drama, but even this was too much for some to stomach. And yet, through all the noise, Jasmine remained silent. She disappeared from social media. She skipped filming for 3 days straight. Rumors swirled that she'd checked into a private wellness retreat, trying to get her head straight before making any public statements. Kirk, on the other hand, kept working, kept filming, but his energy had changed. He was quieter, more serious, more guarded. In one candid moment, caught off camera but later leaked, he was overheard telling a producer, "I don't think I even know who she is anymore." But just when it seemed like Jasmine was about to fade into silence completely, she reappeared on What She Did Next, shocked everyone. Instead of apologizing, instead of making excuses, she posted a single black and white photo of her and Malcolm from years ago with the caption, "What if?" No explanation, no context, just those two haunting words. Fans lost their minds. Was this a confession? A challenge? A declaration? Nobody knew for sure. But one thing was clear: Jasmine wasn't done speaking. She was just getting started. Picks up exactly where the internet was left hanging on the edge of Jasmine's cryptic posts that read "What if?" beneath a black and white memory of her and Malcolm, back when they were young, wild, and completely toxic. That post didn't just break the internet, it shattered it. Overnight, the comments section turned into a battlefield. Some fans accused Jasmine of playing mind games, of twisting the knife in Kirk's back publicly. Others speculated she was trying to tell the world she regretted marrying Kirk in the first place. And some thought she might be prepping the stage for the ultimate betrayal, leaving Kirk and rekindling the old flame with Malcolm. The reaction was instant and unrelenting. Jasmine's PR team reportedly begged her to take the post down within minutes, but Jasmine didn't flinch. She let it stay. That single image, that single line, was enough to spark another round of headlines across every gossip blog and reality show commentary channel. Was she testing Kirk's patience? Was she trying to get Malcolm's attention again? Or worse, was she preparing fans for the announcement of a separation? The silence from Jasmine's side after that cryptic post only made it worse. Meanwhile, Kirk was left to clean up the emotional mess she'd left behind, all while trying to hold himself together in the public eye. In a shocking turn, Kirk decided to speak out, not through an Instagram story or some filtered podcast interview, but in a raw, emotional, unedited video shot on his front porch. No lights, no makeup, no polish. Just a broken man trying to make sense of the woman he thought he knew. "Y'all saw the post," he began, voice shaking. "I've given my heart, my loyalty, my whole life to someone who clearly doesn't know what she wants." He paused, visibly fighting tears. You don't post a what if unless you're wishing something was different. You don't throw shade at your marriage unless you're halfway out the door already. The video lasted just under 6 minutes, but it was enough. Fans rallied behind him like never before. The hashtag shifted. Now it was hashtag justice for Kirk, hashtag boycott Jasmine, and even hashtag team divorce. But the plot only thickened. Days later, another leak surfaced, this time a voicemail. A source close to the couple claimed Jasmine had left the message for Malcolm just weeks prior. And now, the audio was making the rounds online. In it, Jasmine's voice could be heard whispering through what sounded like tears. "I don't know how I ended up here. I miss how simple we used to be. I miss feeling wanted." Her voice cracked near the end, followed by a long pause and then, "Maybe I made a mistake." That last line, "maybe I made a mistake," sent shockwaves across the fandom. Was she admitting regret over marrying Kirk? Was this whole relationship just a rebound from the pain Malcolm caused years ago? Meanwhile, Malcolm, emboldened by his sudden resurgence in the spotlight, started posting throwback photos of his own. Old pics of him and Jasmine at concerts, birthday dinners, late-night car rides. The captions were always short but loaded with implications. She knew where home was. Some chapters don't end, they just pause. It became clear he was enjoying the chaos. He wasn't denying the past, nor was he discouraging the narrative that Jasmine might still have feelings for him. If anything, he was fueling it, feeding it like a man who saw his second chance unfolding on the grandest stage imaginable. Kirk's family was livid. His sister took to social media in a fiery Instagram live, where she accused Jasmine of being a master manipulator and a woman who thrives off attention. She said, "This isn't just about Malcolm. Jasmine has always loved being the victim and the villain. She cry for sympathy while lighting the whole house on fire. Behind your back. Harsh maybe. But Kirk's sister wasn't alone. Former castmates began chiming in with their own "I knew it" stories. Revealing little red flags Jasmine had shown over the years, flirty texts with crew members, mysterious disappearances during filming breaks, and an overall pattern of emotional distance. Yet, for all the heat Jasmine was taking, there was still a faction of supporters defending her fiercely. They argued that emotional cheating isn't the same as physical cheating. That maybe Kirk hadn't been showing up for her the way she needed. That maybe Jasmine was reaching for something deeper, something she was missing in her marriage. Mental health experts were even brought into the debate. Some saying that reconnecting with past partners during times of emotional stress is more common than people think. But does common make it acceptable? The network behind the show was in crisis mode. Producers were scrambling to re-edit upcoming episodes to highlight the growing tension between Jasmine and Kirk before the scandal exploded. Ratings projections shot up overnight as fans prepared to see the breakdown unfold in real time. Cameras followed Kirk as he moved out of their shared home and into a friend's guest house. The moment he packed up his suitcase, stuffing it with folded clothes, old photos, and a framed picture of their kids was raw and devastating. "I don't know how we got here," he whispered to himself, barely audible on mic. "But I can't be the only one fighting anymore." And then came the most unexpected moment of all. Jasmine showed up. Not for an interview. Not for a social media post. She showed up at Kirk's temporary place. No cameras, no entourage, just her. A neighbor spotted her knocking on the door late at night, and a blurry phone video soon made its way to the blogs. The two stood on the porch, locked in a tense conversation. Kirk's arms were folded. Jasmine was crying. After a few minutes, he stepped aside and let her in. What happened inside that house for the next hour is still a mystery, but according to sources, voices were raised, something was thrown, and eventually, Jasmine left in tears. The next morning, Kirk posted a black screen with 3 words. "It's really over." That post was the final nail in the coffin. Fans flooded the comments, begging him to stay strong, telling him he deserved better. Jasmine, meanwhile, posted nothing. No explanation. No defense. Just silence. It felt like the end of an era, but also the start of something no one could have predicted. Because as much as fans thought they knew where this story was headed, Jasmine had one more move up her sleeve. Begins in eerie silence. Jasmine's social media had gone dark. No posts, no stories, no likes, not even a peep from her usually active fan page admins. For a woman whose life had played out in the public eye with unfiltered boldness, her sudden disappearance felt louder than any tweet. Whispers started floating in the entertainment circles. Had she run away with Malcolm? Was she hiding out, in a different state? Had she even spoken to her kids since the fallout? The silence was so loud, it became the headline. Where is Jasmine? Read every gossip blog's front page. With paparazzi scenes circling her old neighborhood like sharks. Waiting for a glimpse, a clue, anything that could give them the next scoop. Kirk, meanwhile, was slowly reclaiming his peace. He wasn't smiling, no, not yet, but he had stopped breaking down. His interviews were short, stoic, sometimes bitter. He was getting back to business. But even in his strength, you could tell he was hurting in a place that healing doesn't reach quickly. And then, almost 2 weeks after her disappearance, Jasmine resurfaced, not on Instagram, not on Twitter, but on a live national interview. Unannounced, unscheduled, unbelievable. sitting across from a seasoned host on one of the biggest daytime talk shows. Jasmine finally spoke, and what she said had jaws dropping coast to coast. "I won't lie anymore," she began, eyes glassy, voice trembling. "Yes, those messages were real. Yes, I reached out to Malcolm, and yes, I think a part of me was still holding on." The audience gasped. The host paused, unsure if she was supposed to press harder or let Jasmine dig her own grave. "But what people don't understand," Jasmine continued, "is that I wasn't happy. I haven't been happy for a long time. Kirk and we became a brand, a show, not a marriage." She went on to explain that she didn't mean to hurt Kirk, but she felt lost, unseen, and emotionally starved. But that wasn't all. Jasmine then dropped the biggest bombshell of the interview. "Malcolm wasn't the only one I spoke to." That sentence turned the entire studio into stone. The host blinked in disbelief. "Whiter, you saying there were others?" Jasmine nodded slowly. "I was spiraling. I needed to feel something, anything. I had emotional affairs with 2 other men I used to know, nothing physical, but I crossed lines. Repeatedly. The backlash was instant. Fans who were holding out hope for a reconciliation now felt betrayed all over again." Kirk, reportedly watching the interview live, was said to have left the room halfway through, muttering, "She just keeps digging." By now, the network had enough material to build an entire season around this drama. Producers started crafting a Jasmine redemption arc, but the damage had already taken on a life of its own. Friends who once stood by her began distancing themselves. Rashida unfollowed her the same day. Even co-stars who were neutral before now voiced their disapproval. "We all go through stuff," one castmate said in a confessional. But Jasmine made choices. This wasn't one mistake. This was a pattern. And she hurt a good man in the process. Amid all the chaos, Malcolm kept capitalizing. He went on multiple podcasts, retelling his version of the story with increasing exaggeration. In one interview, he claimed Jasmine told him she was ready to walk away from it all and move in with him. In another, he hinted that she was pregnant but wouldn't say by who. That last one nearly broke the internet. #JasminePregnant began trending in minutes. Theories exploded. Was it Kirk's? Malcolm's? Someone else's entirely? Jasmine, in yet another bold move, posted a single sentence to her story that night. "That rumor is beneath me." No denial, no confirmation, just more confusion. Things reached a fever pitch when Jasmine and Kirk were forced to attend the season reunion taping. They hadn't spoken in weeks, and fans were bracing for the moment they'd share a couch for the first time since the scandal began. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. From the second they sat down, the tension was suffocating. Jasmine tried to make eye contact. Kirk refused. The host dove right into the drama, replaying the leaked texts on screen while the audience reacted in real time. Kirk's face was stone cold, unreadable. Jasmine looked down most of the time, her hands nervously twisting the corner of her sleeve. "I messed up," she finally said, looking up only once. "I betrayed your trust. I can't say sorry enough for that." Kirk didn't flinch. "You didn't just betray me," he replied. "You disrespected our kids, our family, and everyone who believed in us." The audience erupted into applause. Jasmine tried to respond, but every word felt drowned out by the reality of her own choices. Then came the host's final question, one that had been building all night. "Do you still love each other?" Jasmine hesitated, tears forming. "Yes," she whispered. "I never stopped." Kirk's response came quickly. "That's the problem. You say you love me, but you loved attention more." The silence that followed was unbearable. You could feel every eye in the room on them. Jasmine's tears finally broke through, and for the first time in hours, Kirk looked at her not with anger, but with deep, aching disappointment. He shook his head, stood up, and walked off stage. No goodbye. No hug. Just the end of something that once felt unbreakable. The reunion episode aired in record-breaking numbers. Fans cried. Fans raged. Fan theories exploded. But one thing became clear. This wasn't just reality TV anymore. This was heartbreak, humiliation, and human mistakes playing out in real time. Jasmine was left sitting alone on that couch, wiping her tears as the credits rolled. And just when people thought the final twist had dropped, the screen faded to black and flashed a single teaser line. Next time, Jasmine tells Kirk a secret she's kept for months. And that's where everything turned upside down again. Opens in a suffocating silence. The teaser from the reunion episode had left fans in a frenzy. Next time, Jasmine tells Kirk a secret she's kept for months. What could it be? After everything's leaked messages, the emotional betrayals, the public humiliation, what secret could possibly be worse? Blogs speculated wildly. Was she pregnant after all? Had she physically cheated and just lied to save face? Or was it something even darker? Some fans were so anxious, they couldn't sleep the night before the episode aired. The world was waiting, breath held, for the final twist in Jasmine's tangled tale of love, betrayal, and chaos. And then it happened. The final reunion segment dropped like a meteor. Cameras rolled as Jasmine was brought back onto the now empty stage. Kirk had refused to return, but producers convinced him to sit in a private room backstage, watching via live feed. Jasmine took her seat, visibly trembling. "This wasn't planned," she said. "This wasn't even something I was sure I'd ever say. But if I'm going to be hated, I might as well be honest." She took a deep breath, looked directly into the camera, and dropped the bomb. "I saw Malcolm in person." The air left the room. Viewers across the globe gasped. Fans rewound the clip to make sure they heard it right. Jasmine continued, her voice breaking. "It was once, just once. Right after one of our biggest fights. I didn't tell anyone. Not the crew, not my friends, and definitely not Kirk." She went on to explain how she and Malcolm met secretly in a hotel lobby, how it was supposed to be just coffee, just closure. But that's not what happened. They ended up spending 6 hours together, alone, no cameras, no phones, and though she insisted nothing physical happened, she admitted they held hands, cried, and even talked about what life could have been like. "That night changed everything," she whispered. "It made me realize I was still emotionally tied to someone I had no business clinging to." Kirk, watching from the private room, exploded. Cameras caught him throwing his water bottle across the room and storming out, shouting, "She lied again." Again. He refused to film another second. The reunion cut abruptly, ending with Jasmine sobbing on the couch, alone once more. The episode closed with a stark black screen reading, "Jasmine and Kirk have separated. Filming is currently on pause." The aftermath was nuclear. Every outlet picked up the story. Former castmates gave interviews condemning Jasmine's choices. Even her inner circle started peeling away. Her longtime friend and stylist posted a cryptic Instagram story. "You can't fake loyalty, even with a glam team." Kirk's fanbase ballooned overnight. He was invited to daytime talk shows, brand sponsorships rolled in, and suddenly, he was the poster child for healing after heartbreak. But Jasmine, she became the villain the public loved to hate. And yet, something about her silence began to feel intentional. Strategic. Just when fans were certain Jasmine was cancelled for good, she dropped another bomb, an hour-long tell-all documentary on a paid streaming platform, titled My Truth, Jasmine Unfiltered. In it, she detailed not just the Kirk drama, but her upbringing, her fears, her pressure to stay perfect for the cameras, and how she felt like her identity was erased in the shadow of Kirk and Jasmine. "I made mistakes," she admitted, "but I'm not the only one who did." She hinted that Kirk wasn't as innocent as the world believed, that he, too, had secrets. And just like that, the narrative shifted again. Suddenly, fans were split. Some began wondering, was Jasmine just a broken woman acting out? Did Kirk push her emotionally to the edge? Were we too quick to cancel her while idolizing him? Debates flared up across social media. Old clips were reanalyzed. Tweets were dissected. Sympathy began seeping back in. The hashtag Jasmine Redemption hashtag started trending. And then came the final twist in this never-ending saga. Months after their separation, Jasmine and Kirk were spotted together at a mutual friend's baby shower. No cameras. No crew, just them. Kirk had his arm loosely draped over the back of her chair. Jasmine laughed at something he said. It looked peaceful, confusingly peaceful. Within hours, the photo went viral. Speculation exploded again. Were they getting back together? Was this a one-time truce? Had they secretly reconciled? Kirk posted a statement that same night. Some bonds are too complicated for outsiders to understand. Right now, we're choosing peace for ourselves, and for our kids. Jasmine posted a matching quote. Sometimes, love means starting over, not walking away. And just like that, the public was left in emotional whiplash. Were they rebuilding? Were they just friends? Were they fooling everyone again? No one knew. But one thing was clear. Jasmine and Kirk's story wasn't over. It was messy. It was toxic. It was raw, but it was real. And it had the entire world watching, waiting, and wondering what twist would come next. The reality TV world may be built on drama, but Jasmine and Kirk proved that some stories don't just end with betrayal or breakups. Some stories live on in confusion, contradiction, and the kind of unresolved emotions that keep audiences coming back again and again. One thing is certain. Whatever happens next, fans will be watching. And just like that, we've reached the end of one of the most explosive, heart-wrenching, and jaw-dropping chapters in reality TV history. Jasmine's secret chats, her emotional betrayals, and the shocking reunion confessions have left a permanent mark on fans everywhere. From cryptic posts and leaked messages to teary breakdowns and that unforgettable bombshell, "I saw Malcolm in person." This wasn't just drama. This was a full-blown emotional earthquake. And now, with Jasmine and Kirk caught in this twisted dance of pain, memory, and maybe just maybe reconciliation, one thing's become crystal clear. The truth is never black and white. Fans are still divided. Is Jasmine the broken woman, trying to find herself again? Or is she a manipulator who played everyone, including the man who gave her everything? Is Kirk the innocent husband? Or is there more beneath his calm surface than we know? And Malcolm, is he really done stirring the pot? Or is he just waiting for his next chance to strike? We want to hear what you think. Are Jasmine and Kirk headed toward healing or disaster? Was Jasmine's betrayal unforgivable? Or is there room for redemption in this love story gone wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't hold back. Team Jasmine, Team Kirk, or Team they should leave each other for good. If you loved the twists, the tension, and the total emotional chaos, hit that like button and subscribe for more wild, behind-the-scenes drama from the reality world. And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update, because if there's one thing we've learned from Jasmine and Kirk, it's that just when you think the story's over, a new secret always finds its way to the surface. Stay tuned, stay messy, and stay watching, because this saga, oh, it's far from over.